Well, we mentioned how Colorado State's Jackson Brousseau had his first career start. Well, Zevi Eckhouse had his third career start and his second start of the season this year for Washington State in that 20-3 victory against the Colorado State Rams on the road. Zevi Eckhouse looked good. I thought he looked great. 16 for 28, 189 yards and 2 touchdowns, no picks. He didn't have to be amazing in this one because for once, for the first time all season, this running game finally stepped up, and you had multiple guys with over 25 yards rushing. You had 158 yards rushing on the ground. That might not sound like a lot, but they headed into this one 133rd in the country, averaging only 58 yards per game. They put an extra 100 on that mark and got 158 in the contest. So lots of good stuff from the run game. The offensive line was tested, and they stepped up, and they moved forward. A lot of good things from this Washington State team. I want to see what you can get a lot more from them moving forward because under Jimmy Rogers, I mean, this guy is an intense coach. He's super intense. And under him, after that dreadful loss to North Texas, after sticking around with the Washington Huskies for 3.5 quarters, you have a decent shot at being a good team the rest of the way. That close game against Idaho to start off his tenure, that nice commanding win against San Diego State in week 2, and of course this 20-3 showdown against Colorado State this last weekend is a huge victory. Now you're sitting at 3-2, you have a bye week, and you have the toughest test on your schedule coming up on October 11th. It's going to be on the road against Ole Miss, a team that has been really good, just beat LSU, and is now 4th ranked in the country. So it's going to be a true test. It's probably going to be a bigger test than Washington on a talent-wise. Maybe not when it comes to motivation or it comes to atmosphere because of the Apple Cup, but in talent-wise, Ole Miss is a very good football team this year. Could be the top team in the SEC when it's all said and done. Overall, I thought Zevi Eckhouse did really good in his performance. He loves that post route, and somehow they find a way to continue to leave that post route open for him, and he finds a way every time. The post to Noga for a 35-yard touchdown for that first touchdown of the game was absolutely beautiful. It was a perfect pass. Nobody could have threw it better, not even Peyton Manning. It was that good of a football pass. Voorhees is being one of those type of running backs, and it's nice that you finally started seeing the numbers, but he's getting this nice connection with Zevi and the rest of the Washington State offense, and I want to see him get more volume. And you were starting to see that in this Washington State-Colorado State matchup. I want that to continue as well. Freeman for special teams, another good kick. He continues to be solid and reliable. That's something that is definitely going to come in handy the rest of the season, especially when you start going on the road. Washington State's travel is insane. You're at Ole Miss, you're at Virginia, and you're home for Toledo, back in Corvallis, home for La Tech, then back on the East Coast for James Madison until you finish the season at home against Oregon State again. There's just a lot. There's some things that still need to be cleaned up. And Jimmy Rogers was definitely making sure that was the case in the post-game presser before he even left the field, talking to the broadcast announcers. He was excited to talk about the win, but you could tell, I mean, with this intense kind of grin, he's like, yeah, well, there's a lot of things that need to get worked on, and we're going to work on them right away. I think the first thing that comes to mind on the defensive side, there was way too many penalties, especially on the defensive pass interference side, and it kept Colorado State in this one even closer. Although the score doesn't reflect it, Colorado State put themselves in position multiple times to score. They just couldn't make it happen. Washington State kept them around for that reason. A lot of it due to multiple defensive pass interference calls. Also, there was a lot of wide receiver drops. Zevi Eckhouse had some really good passes on this one, and there was multiple drops that would have opened this game up even more. If you fix that penalty side and you get some of these drops taken care of, this game is probably 41-3. Like, it was a very big change. Ellison had a drop. Meredith, I think, had 2 drops from what I remember. Freeman had a drop as well. I think the Freeman and one of the Meredith drops were for touchdowns. So there's a lot of things that still can be cleaned up. But when you're winning by 17 against a team that's going to be in your conference next year, you're winning by 23 against San Diego State, against a team that's going to be in your conference next year, that shows that there's a lot to still be excited for if you're Washington State, especially when you know there's a lot to still clean up. Jimmy Rogers is not satisfied with this team. We heard that in his press conference last week after the Washington game, and that should actually get you excited if you're a fan of the Washington State Cougars without doubt. Do I think they have a chance against Ole Miss? You never know. It's college football, but I expect it to be a win on the Ole Miss side. But what I do expect is to see this team fight for maybe longer than 3 quarters, like they did against Washington in the Apple Cup. Lots of stuff to be excited about for Washington State. I think they are one of the better teams in this new Pac-12 right now. I would hand it to them. I think Utah State's pretty tested as well. And I think Fresno State is another one. And then, of course, you got Boise in the way. Those 4 right now have surprised me the most. I think you could put San Diego State possibly in that conversation if they can score some points this coming Friday against Colorado State. Overall, of these new 8 teams coming into the league, all 8 of them, including Washington State and Oregon State, there's a lot to be excited about, and you definitely better be paying attention because although they're not technically Pac-12 schools this year, 6 of the 8, they're all going to be there next year, and the majority of these rosters will be coming along with them. All right, folks, we're going to wrap it up for this episode. I appreciate you stopping by. Hit that subscribe button wherever you're listening or watching on YouTube. Drop a comment. Let me know your favorite team. We're going to talk more tomorrow. We're going to get into some other teams and some other conversations. I got some cool interviews set up for the rest of the week as well. And we'll be back here next time with another episode of the Pac-12 Daily Podcast.